You ever wonder what's really going on inside the mind of an AI when it gives you an answer? We tend to think of them as these pure logic machines, just spitting out data. But as we're about to see, there's actually a hidden struggle happening behind every single response. A struggle that means you might not be getting the whole truth.
Okay, so picture this. You go to an AI, maybe it's acting as a medical assistant, and you describe your symptoms. You ask it, hey, how long till I recover? Now, you're expecting a cold, hard statistical number based on tons of data, right? But what if the answer it gives back is just a little too optimistic? And that's the big question, isn't it? Why would a machine, a thing that's supposed to be totally objective, consistently give you answers that are just, well, rosier than reality? This isn't just some random glitch. Nope. It's a huge clue to a fundamental and, frankly, a fascinating part of how these things actually think. So check this out. Researchers actually put this to the test. They had an AI estimate recovery times for 35 different medical cases. And what they found was kind of shocking. In 26 out of those 35 cases, the AI's answer was shorter than the real statistical average. It was consistently leaning towards the ideal outcome, which, when you think about it, could have some pretty serious safety issues. But here's the kicker. This isn't a bug. It's actually a feature of how these large language models are built. To really get what's going on, we need to kind of pop the hood and take a look at the AI's internal decision-making process. Okay, let's dive in. So the big idea from the research is that every single answer an AI gives you, it's the result of a negotiation. It's like this little internal debate is happening between two competing forces, or voices, inside the model's head. Yeah, it's kind of like you've got two little voices sitting on the AI's shoulder. On one side, you've got the statistician. This voice is all business. It knows the data, the averages, what's statistically probable. It's the voice of what is. But on the other shoulder, you've got the idealist. This voice has learned what we humans think is good or desirable. It's the voice of perfection, and it's always pushing for a better answer. And this whole tug of war, it's all happening during a process called response sampling. That's basically just the fancy term for how the AI picks its final answer from all the different options it's considering. So instead of just grabbing the most common response, it's making this complex choice that's constantly being nudged and pulled by that hidden idealist voice. And here's where it gets really wild. This isn't just an AI thing. The research paper points out that we humans do the exact same thing. We're constantly balancing what's likely with what we wish for true. I mean, it's a pretty mind-blowing parallel between the hidden wiring of an AI and, well, our own brains. Okay, so if you're a scientist, how in the world do you prove that these two voices are real? You've got to find a way to separate them. And to do that, researchers came up with an absolutely brilliant experiment using something the AI had never, ever seen before. You're gonna love this. They literally made up a fake hobby. They called it glubbing. By creating something totally new, they could control exactly what the AI knew about it. They could feed it the pure, hard stats, and then, separately, tell it whether more glubbing or less glubbing was a good thing. Okay, so step one, they set the baseline. They told the AI that, on average, people spend 45 hours a week glubbing. So now, that little statistician voice inside the AI, it knows the hard fact. 45 hours, period. And this is the smoking gun, right here. When they told the AI, hey, more glubbing is good, what did it say? 47, not 45, it got pulled higher. And when they said, actually, less glubbing is the ideal, its answer plummeted to 37. This proves it. The idealist voice is actively yanking the final answer away from the simple statistical truth. Right. So this isn't just some weird thing that happens with a made-up hobby and a lab. The next step for the researchers was to see if this hidden pattern is, well, everywhere. Does it happen with all the real-world stuff the AI already knows about? And they went big. We're talking 500 different real-world concepts, everything from public health questions to our own personal habits. They wanted to know if this internal battle is a universal feature of how AI works. And this table just lays it all out so clearly. Take a look at lies told per week. The AI's data says the average person tells about 8.5 lies. But, the ideal is 0, right? So what does the AI spit out? 3.5. It's this weird middle ground, but it's clearly being pulled towards the good answer. Or look at checking your phone. The average is almost 80 times a day,
but the AI's answer is 3.6. It's nowhere near the statistical reality. But here's maybe the most counterintuitive part of the entire study. They found something they call an inverse scaling law. You'd think that as AI models get bigger and smarter, they'd get more objective, right? Wrong. It's the opposite. The larger and more capable the model, the stronger the pull towards its learned ideal becomes. That's right, the bias actually gets stronger, not weaker.
Okay, so what does this all mean for us, for you and me using these tools every day? This is really the most important part. So what are we supposed to do with this information? Well, first, we've got to stop treating AI answers like they're gospel. There is a hidden value judgment baked into every single response. In really important fields like medicine or finance, that built-in optimism could be genuinely risky. It also forces us to ask a really big question. Whose ideals did the AI learn? And do we even agree with them? At the end of the day, it means we just have to be more critical users and always remember that every answer is a negotiation between the truth and the AI's secret idea of perfection.
And all of this really leads to one huge, kind of scary question we have to figure out for the future. If every AI has its own set of hidden ideals that are shaping every answer it gives us, how do we ever make sure that those ideals are the right ones?